This is Sonia Collymore. Radioregent is #1 for independent artists. #1. This is Sonia Collymore, and you're listening to the Ear Candy Show with my girl, Diva D.
Sonia, it's so good to see you and to have you here at
you.
Radioregent. I'm really honored, and such a day as Remembrance Day, so
Lest we forget.
And it's also Barbados Independence coming up, so you know, like a lot to be grateful for, but more than that, I'm excited. You brought your album. Can it still be picked up on CD Baby and iTunes?
CD Baby, I think iTunes for sure. CD Baby though, and I'm not sure about iTunes. I have to double check that one. But CD Baby for 100% sure.
And her album is called WYSIWYG, and we were listening to a few tracks. Takes Two to Play the Game and No Cash Flow, and the music that you compose. Are you a songwriter? And
I am. I wrote of all those songs on the album, only one is a cover. So everything else I wrote from the heart.
From the heart. Yeah. And you're from the island, so that Caribbean flavor.
Barbados, how you mean?
So you like to fet.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Yeah, because your music has a lot of energy. I remember when you did Breathe at the Urban Music Awards. I believe it was 2004, 2005.
Yep, yeah.
And you also were a Juno winner of 2002 and 2005. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. To know that your peers actually are because when you win a Juno, it tells you that your peers support the music that you've released. So it was such an honor in 2003 to win for the first single, and then in 2005 to win for that album. It honestly was an honor. It was an honor. There was such great competition in that year, and to actually have won it on an independent label, which is the label that I owned, it just said a lot. It said that as an artist, you don't have to be with a big label. You can create your own label. You can put your music out there, and people will buy it and support it, and the industry will support it as well. It was a big thing for me.
And moving forward to 2016,
right?
What are you doing now that we can hear about, that we can let people know?
Oh, definitely. So. My life has changed a lot since I'm winning the Juno. I've gotten married. My head is in a totally different place, in a good place. Because as you grow and as you mature, your likes change and where you're going changes and stuff like that. So right now, my space in my head is gospel. I love the Word of God. I love gospel music, and my husband and I right now are working on a gospel album.
Wow,
so I'm
excited!
I'm still doing reggae. I'm doing jazz now as well.
Will you do a gospel reggae album?
It'll be gospel reggae. There'll be some Caribbean influence in there, as well as just really beautiful ballads, really love songs to God.
Yeah. And we should always praise Him, because you know, without His word, you know, His works in us,
That's
you know,
right. That's right.
Gets to show us gifts. Like, I have an ear for music, and I love music, and when Curtis Kilbreeze told me you're coming down, I was really excited, because it lends flavor to something different that we have at the station.
Wow.
And to know that you are still in the business, I'm really glad to know that, and I look forward to your gospel album.
Thank you.
Would you be writing the tracks for the album?
Yep, they'll all be originals, and I'll be working with my husband on that as well. But I want to say that in the music industry, there are so many different avenues that one can take. So when you're not seeing me on big shows, or if I'm not on the radio, doesn't mean that an artist isn't performing and an artist isn't doing their thing. So I kind of disappeared from the big shows and stuff, but I've been doing a lot of corporate events, a lot of private events, working at big hotels. Right now we're at the Ritz-Carlton.
Wow.
Yep, I'm leaving here and heading straight to the Ritz-Carlton. We're there almost every Friday night now.
Okay.
Doing jazz, but jazz with a Caribbean flavor.
Nice.
So I'm finding a way to still bring the Caribbean into even the jazz music, which is fun.
Would you record something like that in the future?
Yeah, I would love that, because we're taking traditional jazz songs and adding just a little Caribbean vibe to it, which is just giving it a new life.
Well, I really respect that because I'm seeing different artists lending to their heritage and bringing it forward.
Yes.
You know, I see musicians and vocalists actually really creating a new sound, and it would be really nice.
Hybrid.
Hybrid it, and actually have it just go out there on
Be in the forefront.
From Radioregent. I know Cool Breeze is in touch with a lot of artists, and he's
Big up
promoting them.
DJ Cool Breeze.
Yeah, we
I mean,
so much.
Thank you.
We have been friends for about 28 years. We're born the same day, a few years apart, and it has been a musical journey.
Yes.
And you have just enhanced my journey, and I'm stuttering because I'm so humbled because there's so many things that I'd love to ask you, and we don't have a whole lot of time. So I hope that you'll come back, maybe on Breeze's show, and we can ask you an hour's worth of questions and stuff.
Definitely. And hopefully by then we'll have. I'd love to be the first one to share it with you.
Okay. And maybe one Friday night, Breeze and I can come down and maybe videotape you and put it on our blog, because we like to promote the artists. So someone else can listen to, because we're trying to break ground in the U.S.
Wow.
Just by having our shows to let people know that, hey, Toronto is not silent.
No.
We are more than powerful. We don't need to come down there and sign a contract. We are doing stuff.
That is right.
And there's new artists coming out there, but like I've listened to like Keisha Wint, Call It Easy.
Yes.
And yourself. You know, and just a vocal range. And I'm thinking like, why haven't they been discovered? Like, why aren't people tuning in? You know, and we have Sir Eddie Bullen, the Thunderdome himself, just breaking ground with professiononalism, with great artists.
With great jazz, and he's a beautiful version as well.
And you know, just creating, I think it's going to create a niche, because Toronto is starting to change.
Yes.
I don't know, with Trump winning, if we're going to have more openings and have a little bit of free trade in the music business, because it's due.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been watching the music business since in the 60s when I was a little kid. Wow. You know, stage performers from the islands, from the States, where a lot of people made it here and went back to the States, you know?
Yes.
And I'd like to see artists for a time make it here.
Stay here.
And stay here. Like, I was part of the Urban Music Association, and I thought that was a venue that was really going to launch a lot of artists. But, you know, with funding and as everything else, it takes away from it. Mm-hmm. But at least we still have Factor and other variables that will help an artist, the Toronto Arts Council and Ontario Arts Council, that really help artists.
And the web too. We cannot underestimate the wide reaching of the web. And
the social media.
Because
that's what we're doing. We are on every Facebook page. Like, we link quite a bit.
Yeah.
You've been here for a long time, and you've been in the music industry for a long time, and we also have Youth Media Arts Center here with young girls. We call them the Diva Girls, from 12 to 24. I usually work with the girls from 12 to 16.
Yes.
And if they were watching this video right now, and there was actually a little girl in here one time. She likes to sing, and I brought her in here, and she's from the Middle East, and she has Whitney Houston down packed, note to note, chord to chord, breathing, and you know, she's just and she doesn't think she's good. Like, she had her head down, but when she sang, what did she sing? It was I believe in you and me. I believe that you could be. You know, we could be. You know, so. You know, and ladies, longevity, like yourself, open the doors for young people and give them inspiration, because one thing I notice about women of color here, a lot of them don't have a lot of confidence, and get taken advantage of or don't find the right streaming to put forth their craft. Some of them can't even afford music lessons.
Right.
And yourself, were you trained, or it was just a spiritual thing? Because I find spirituality really can craft someone's.
Amen.
You know.
So I've studied music as well. I've taken music lessons, vocal lessons, that type of thing. But my talent was a gift that I just received. My parents don't sing, and and that's how I know that it's a gift from God, because no one else in my family really sings. So other than my one aunt, so that tells me that God said, you know what, I'm going to give you this, and your gifts will make way for you. Your gifts will allow you to have a decent life. Your gifts will open doors for you. That's the gift he gave me. He gave my mother the gift of cooking. He gave my father the gift of, everybody has a gift.
Yeah.
And once you have that gift, no man, no woman, no anybody can take that gift from you. What you have to do is, when you get that gift, give it back to God and say, God, you've given me this.
Amen.
Tell me how to use
glory.
it. Tell me how to use it, how that you will be glorified, how to deal with the gift that you've given me. Trust me, he will open doors. And I'd say to my young girls that are growing up, you don't have to sell yourself. You don't have to do anything that you're not comfortable doing other than being true to your voice. Don't try to sound like anybody else. Don't try to be anybody else. You can be the best you, better than anybody else can. But you're not going to be the best Whitney, because Whitney's already the best Whitney. So, or anybody, be yourself. And God has already given you everything that you need to succeed. On the day that you were in church. In church, I was the youngest one in the choir.
Wow.
With my little short self, singing out, singing loud and proud. So in church, that was where I got my start, learning how to blend, how to harmonize.
Wow.
And then I toured on the road with Barris Hammond for about 11 years. And that's where I met my husband, who was the keyboard player in the band.
Okay.
So working for a great man like Barris taught me so much about stage performance. He taught me how to draw the audience in. He taught me how to sing like I was singing to just that one person in the audience. He also taught me how to write really well. He said that your songs have to have a story. People have to come away after hearing your song learning something.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brought me to music. I mean, I started listening to music. I think I was 4 years old when my parents took me to Sam the Record Man to buy a record.
Whoa.
And it was Chubby Checker and the Twist. And I got to meet him when I was like 5 or 6 and do the twist. And I always had that ear for music. And,
Ear candy.
Yeah, that's why I called it ear candy. I remember I was so passionate about music, and I was about 10 years old, and my aunt brought me a 45 from the States, and it was James Brown's Sex Machine. So my pastor said to me, he says, oh, I know you love music, and I always played the Jacksons and this and that. And he says, why don't you give God something that you're so thankful for and give thanks? Well, I hustled for about 3 months, got James Brown packed, had my little record player, and on Thanksgiving in front of the church with my whole family, I did the James Brown and Sex Machine, and my parents, I thought I was going to get, my backside was red from that. It was so red. And my pastor was so impressed because I went right through it, although I knew what was coming at the end of it. I went right through it and did my little thing.
Little dance.
Had my hair all flipped up to the side, and he said, oh my gosh, she's giving thanks. And he said, in what a unique way. And I've loved music ever since. So when I hear voice and I see artists trying to perfect their craft, we all have something to give, and if we blend it together, we can make other people, really conscious about it. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I've had you here today to share your story and to let people know that artists like yourself, Sonia Collymore,
that's right,
is still in the business.
Still in the music.
She has an album coming out. It's going to be gospel tracks, and it's going to be Caribbean flavor.
That's right.
And she performs on Fridays at the
Ritz-Carlton in the Ritz Bar.
And if you were looking for this CD, you could find it.
CD Baby, and also downloads from my website. So that's soniacollymoremusic.com.
So that's www. Sonia, Sonia, Collymore is COLLYMORE.
Music.
MUSIC.
.com.
.com. Well, Sonia, we thank you so much for coming down today.
Thank you.
And it's such a blessing. We will keep in touch.
Yes, we will.
And we'd like to have you back again. Maybe have your husband talk about music protection, because we have youth that frequent the studio. We have an active television studio.
Nice.
We haven't got into audio engineering and recording, but they're getting into social media, doing gaming, and trying to bring apps and things to the public. So who knows, we might create a Sonia Collymore app where they can stream your music. Like,
yes.
We're launching, we're moving, we're evolving, and I think that you came along for the ride and coming to bless us with your presence today.
Yes, thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you don't realize it, well, you do realize this is what God gave you to do.
Yeah,
this is your talent.
Yeah. And if you see my house, you'd say like, what is this girl doing with all this music? How could she possibly listen to it? But my soul listens to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then my ear gets involved, and it's like, oh, yeah, I like that.
Yes.
It moves me.
Yes.
You know, and God, first and foremost, the author of my faith.
Yes.
I thank him, and I thank you. And Mr. Dawes also for taking your time out to bring Miss Collymore down.
Dwight Duke Dawes. Great producer. Great artist,
I'm excited to hear some stuff from you. Do you want to say hi?
Heal up. The Radioregent crew massive.
All right.
Bless up, man. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time here.
Thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
And this is Ear Candy with your girl Diva D. We had Sonia Collymore in the house, Cool Breeze, and Dwight Dawes, and of course your girl Diva D. And we're going to get back to the music, so thank you for tuning in today at Radio Regent. This is the Ear Candy Show with your girl Diva D, every Friday from 3 to 5, live from Regent Park, Toronto, Canada.
This is Sonia Collymore. Radio Regent is #1 for independent artists. #1.